Hi everyone, so I hope you got on okay last lesson with drawing the basic proportions and detail for your tonal drawing. So today what we'd like to focus on is adding the tone, and on this first slide here I've put about how to be successful. So we would like you to practice using your pencil to create varying tones before you actually apply them to the drawing. Make sure your drawing includes dark tones, mid-tones and white. Look carefully at the tones in your picture. So you can actually try working from a black and white image to help you with this. And make sure your work has lots of contrast, so that's extreme darks and lights. So first thing we would really like to do is try and practice applying tone. Now we don't want this to take ages and ages and ages. If you quickly draw out a box, then you can actually colour in from dark to light. This person here has sort of smudged it, so you can always use a bit of tissue if you want to smudge it, and just try and get used to creating really dark tone and then much lighter tones here, and your lightest tone in your drawing will actually be white eventually. And then we want you to really think about tone. So tone is actually to try and make things look 3D, so you can see down here that actually by applying tone to just a circle like this, you can make it look like a sphere. So I'd really like to have a go at that and actually try using tone to make a circle look like a sphere. And again, we don't want you to spend ages over this, but we thought it'd be interesting for you to choose at least one other type of tone. So you've got here hatching, cross hatching, different types of effects, and then you can actually add those onto your circles to try and create your sphere in a slightly different way. And for your tonal drawing, you can actually use lots of these different ways of applying tone if you would like to your tonal drawing. So in terms of adding tone to your drawing, what we'd like you to do is we'd like you to look really carefully at your photograph and where the shadows and highlights are. Now, it's much easier if you do work from a black and white photograph, and then you can see, for example, this area here is really dark, whereas where the highlights fall on the packaging, that's actually just white, okay? So you would then get your pencil and start colouring in those tones. Now, sometimes it's easiest just to kind of start with the darkest tones. Sometimes I like to just start with the dark tones. You could just start with these and just start colouring those in, and then start colouring in your mid-tones, and you can actually just leave the white areas white. You don't have to colour over those areas. In the next slide, we've spoken about if, for example, you do go a bit crazy and you've got a grey page, you can actually rub some highlights back in again with a rubber. So that's really good to do. And then when you add the finishing touches to your drawing, you need to make sure there's a lot of contrast. So one mistake that students make is that their drawing is just very grey and it's all one shade of grey like this. It doesn't really look that 3D. Whereas if you really make the light areas look very light and the dark areas look very dark, you can see it makes it look so much more 3D, which is what this person has done here. So just go back and just make sure that there's lots of contrast in there. So you'd be making those dark areas even darker and rubbing back into the light areas. Sometimes you find that when you are doing a drawing, your hand will kind of smudge it and it just kind of just gives it an overall grey tone. So you just want to rub those highlights back in again at the end. And then finally, I've put a link to those videos in the last PowerPoint to just give you a little bit of a helping hand with this, so you can just have a look at how they have built up their drawings. So I hope you get on okay with this task, and we look forward to seeing the final finished product. Okay, hope you have a good week. Thanks, bye.